that, of course, is a story for another day, and I'll see you, and we'll talk about that down the road. Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling's WWE NXT Review. It is Wednesday, 5/13/2015, down Orlando, Florida at Full Sail University in the NXT arena. And we're kicking off the show. But before we do, as always, it's time to relax a little bit. So, shuffle off them shoes. Pop yourself a cold one of your favorite beverage. Get in your favorite chair and get ready to talk NXT wrestling. Because as the promotion says, the future is now. So we might as well get ready and get right into it. It starts out with a recap of Raws. This past Monday night's Raw, that is, with the John Cena U.S. title open challenge. Alright, and they are in the country of Canada, Montreal. And as the challenge is opened, out comes the music of the Hitman Bret Hart, who walks out. And we had a little bit of shenanigans from Heath Slater as he came out afterwards saying that, he needed to be involved in this challenge and he's tired of being pushed out of the way. And with all that, the Hitman cold-cocked and knocked Heath Slater down for the count. And then the Hitman introduced the native son to Montreal. The challenge for John Cena's U.S. title would be the one, the only, Sami Zayn from NXT, the former NXT champion. And with that, the match went on. It was a fantastic bout between the champ and the new NXT arrival making his debut. And what a debut it was. Sami Zayn proving to the world that despite his lack of huge size, that his speed, his ability, his ring work, his ring psychology, his moves, everything that he's got and that he's had out on the table throughout the years on the indie scene and other promotions before coming to NXT in the WWE Universe, proved itself here tonight that he belonged among the big boys at the big dance. Now, unfortunately for him, the match did not go his way, and John Cena at one point had slammed him down fairly hard. It looked to be a bad bump on his shoulder where you could visibly see he landed wrong. The referees right away threw up the X, which, as if you're not aware, that is a sign that there is a serious injury in the ring. He was attended to by the on-call medics there, and they cleared Zayn to continue the match, and continue he did, taking it to Cena. Even getting off one of the greatest moves he does is that jump through one side of the ring, rope through the other to the DDT, hitting Cena with that. He kicked out of the AA. It was just tremendous, but injury and the like got too much for Sami at this point, and the much more experienced U.S. champion, multiple-time world champion, John Cena took the victory. The reason this was brought up here, and it's a little strange, is I'm not sure which way the company is going. They were very hush-hush on the injuries on Zayn. And there is another couple of men that have been injured recently. The Intercontinental Champion, Daniel Bryan, suffering a severe injury, hurting his shoulder as well. and also one Hideo Itami of NXT, whose shoulder was to have been injured, and the rumor, and I only state this as a rumor because nothing has been called out to be official, was that Zahn would be looking to be out for up to 90 days, minimum of 60. Intercontinental Championship, where that's going to go, we're not sure, but Daniel Bryan is looking at being out for a few months. In my opinion, for the former NXT superstar Daniel Bryan, which he fits in well with our program here, and that's why I'm talking about him freely. I think that he rushed back, and I think that Daniel Bryan needs to really think about his health, his well-being, his future, not just in this business, but after he hangs those boots up. You know, you want to be able to walk as easily as possible. You want to be able to, if you got kids or grandkids, you want to be able to hold them kids up to run around with them and play with them. No need in this business for anyone, especially in this day and age, barring some kind of freak accident, to have such a detrimentally severe injury that they become crippled in a very serious way. I'm going a little off base on that, but that's something that hits a little close to home for me, and I just don't want to see that happen to any of my heroes here in the world of professional wrestling. Sami's shoulder does not seem to be as bad, but he's had several injuries over the years himself, and he needs to reevaluate, slow down a bit. They have done that for him in NXT, and I thought it was moving along well for him. I don't think this is going to be a major injury. It may have been a lot less than they initially thought. But with that, let's get out of Monday Night Raw and get into NXT. In our first match, we had Solomon Crowe coming out against the undefeated Baron Corbin. This was a great showing by Crowe, taking advantage of the big man as much as possible, getting a lot of good spots and strikes in, but Corbin, his size, his power, too much, and really out of nowhere, Crowe had come with a springboard off of the ropes, and Baron Corbin grabbed a hold of him and put him into the end of days finisher, and it was over. 1, 2, 3. And then there was an interruption by the man-beast Rhyno. He came to the ring face to face with Baron Corbin and says, "I guess you're the other guy. You're the other one that everybody's talking about." And between the two of them, they said, "You know what? We don't need to wait any longer. Let's get it on." And Corbin threw the first punch, and the two men began brawling right there in the ring. Security came pouring out, breaking up the fray before it got too far out of hand. I think they better check this security team for doping. Maybe have these guys get a little bit of a urinalysis test and some blood drawn, because these guys took control of Big Baron Corbin and Rhyno like they were taking care of a couple of grade school kids. They snatched these guys up and separated them like nobody's business, getting Corbin all the way up the ramp and gone without any type of problem. That is for Corbin's guys. Now, when it came to Rhino's guys in the ring, well, this I say, maybe you don't have to test them, because he gored every single person that was in his ring. That's right. If your shadow was casting anywhere on that mat in between the ropes, he gored every one of you and took you out. So we will be seeing, I am quite sure, without a doubt, come TAKEOVER, the next Super Show on the 20th. That's TakeOver Unstoppable. 2-hour special event, if you're unaware of that. On the 20th of this month, we will finally, hopefully, see who will become the only undefeated member of the NXT roster. I'm putting my money on Rhyno. Baron Corbin, I know he's probably on somebody's rocket chart, and they're getting ready to push him to the stars, but I still think he's a little green, and I don't think he's ready yet. And Rhyno, I think he is. Now, maybe there'll be some type of shenanigans involved, or this is not, of course, a no DQ match. So, as a amateur booker, if you want to protect both of your guys who are undefeated, well, you know, you have yourself both men counted out, double disqualification, something to that effect, and I'm sure some kind of hinky swerve type of situation is what we're going to see when it comes to TakeOver between Rhyno and Corbin Benson. Next up, we had our women's champion, the NXT women's champion of the Boss, Sasha Banks. And ladies and gentlemen, there was a woman already in the ring who looked like she could have been Becky Lynch's stunt double, but she was unknown then and unknown now because they never announced who she was. Sasha Banks talked a little smack on the microphone, and then she took it to this girl, put her in a bank statement, and she tapped out, and this match was over like that. Somehow I don't see Becky Lynch giving up that quickly to the woman's champ, Sasha Banks, come TakeOver. I'm looking very forward to this match. And tonight, I'm going to let you know Mick Foley, that's right, Mrs. Foley's favorite baby boy, had been hashtagging for having more women in wrestling. It's been going on for a while now. They've been pushing for more divas and the like, and we're seeing it done here in NXT. Even in the main roster, some more women's action, although it's not as much as I would like. Even stretching out into other promotions. Impact Wrestling, their knockouts, had a knockouts night. We're seeing a lot more females being brought forward and put into bigger events. Not quite main events yet. We're not to that point where we're getting a woman be the main event of a major pay-per-view, but I think we're going to see it sometime and sometime soon. And of course, I'm not talking about Shimmer or Shine, where of course that's all women's divisions, and of course they're going to headline, but I digress with that. We then had, as I say, it's women's night. We had Carmella coming out, going up against Alexa Bliss. We had back and forth action with Carmella on top of her game. And her and Bliss were going back and forth, and during the in-ring action, the NXT Tag Team Champions, Blake and Murphy, Team Bam, made their way down the ringside to gander and keep a close eye on this Carmella, who they seem to be both hugely infatuated with. The match went back and forth, as I said, but Miss Bliss took control of the match. I'll say that I don't think the tag team champions are doing anything to distract or cause Carmella to have any problems. But Alexa Bliss gave her a whole lot of problems, and she took it to her. She beat her down, and she went up and hit her from her top of the ring rope finisher for the Sparkle Splash, and it was the 1-2-3, and Carmella, the Princess of Long Island, lost for the night. She started and tore into these two tag team wrestlers, giving them the what's for, telling them that things won't be like this when her boys are around next week, and you will not expect to see anything like that happen, as Enzo and Big Cass will take care of these guys, and not only take care of them, but take their belts from them and let it go. It was great. Carmella getting better and better in the ring, better and better on the mic. Unfortunately, Enzo and Big Cass did not make an appearance, but it gave Carmella the opportunity to showcase her mic skills, her in-ring abilities, and herself and Alexa Bliss both looking very good tonight. We then had what would be our in-ring action main event, and that would be the tag team of Adam Rose and Tyler Breeze going up against Hideo Itami and Finn Balor. These guys just went to town on each other, but the match was off kilter on the Balor-Hitami side, whereas Breeze and Rose seemed to be operating as if they had been a tag team for some time. They actually looked pretty good, and I would look at possibly booking these guys as a tag team. They looked that good, and I could see them on the main roster tweaking some type of gimmick for these guys between the Breeze character and the Adam Rose character, minus Rosebuds. Bring us in some supermodels to go along with Tyler Breeze, and I think you get that with Mr. Rose as well. And you might be looking at something interesting where you can, they like to showcase their divas. They could do so. Again, I digress. The problems going back between Finn and Hideo seemed to be each one of them wanted to be the one to get all the glory, which meant they kept tagging each other in and out during the match when the other guy was not putting out a hand to get tagged. Causing quite a lot of friction, and eventually, as Finn Balor was up on the top rope getting ready to drop and do his finisher, Hideo tagged him, came in, the two of them began to argue, and schoolboy roll up, and your winners were Adam Rose and Tyler Breeze. Again, you got Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, and Tyler Breeze are part of the triple threat at the TAKEOVER event next week. So obviously, tensions are high between these men. Last week we had Tyler taking out Hideo Itami, and then Finn coming in to make sure Itami was okay, and then Tyler Breeze knocked out both wrestlers, and history seemed to repeat itself tonight as Breeze came back in again, and with the supermodel kick and the beauty shot took out both men yet again. And Adam Rose came with Tyler, raising his arm in victory, starting to get grooving with the music and whatnot, and looking like it was going to be party time for Breeze and Rose. And out of nowhere, Tyler Breeze super kicked or supermodel kicked Adam Rose right in the mush, and he was down and out. And the pretty one, Prince Pretty, made his way back to Cutesville, and we'll be seeing him next at TAKEOVER. Now, that was the end of the scheduled in-ring action for this evening. What we did have was a scheduled appearance, a one-on-one face-to-face between the champion of NXT, Kevin Owens, and the former NXT champion, Sami Zayn. Sami came out to the ring first, calling out Kevin Owens. Owens' music hit. He made his way to the ring. He came in and said, "This is not going to be a fight. We're here to talk." Letting that be for the fans who were already beginning to call for for action to start. And the question just was, why, Kevin? Why? Basically the kid, the family, taking care of them and paying the bills, putting food on the table. That's all fine and dandy, but that's just not it. What is it? What is it, Owens, that's causing all this? What is the problem? And Owens just stood there and looking at him and not answering. And he goes, and then he says, "Is this about your son, Kev? Is this what this is about? This is about him wanting to go to school and wear a Sami Zayn T-shirt instead of a Knockout, a KO shirt?" And you could see the champ getting more and more emotional, but still remaining silent. He goes, and because he's running through the house with a Sami Zayn armband on and something like that. He goes, "Really? Is it that? Is it that kind of jealousy? Is it because?" And at that point, Owens walks out of the ring and makes his way up the ramp. And Zayn says to him, "Is it just jealousy because I was here first, that I paved the way?" And the champ didn't bother to turn around as he was talking, and he told him, he goes, "I hurt you the last time we met, and you went home, and you stayed home because you were hurt. And I know you were hurt because I'm the one that did it. And not only did I hurt you, I know how I hurt you. I know where I hurt you. And in this next match, when we meet up at TAKEOVER, I'm going to hurt you again. And when I hurt you this time, you won't be returning to the ring." With that, the show was over. And it left me feeling really just kind of like, wow. It was, Kevin Owens, it's like, is he torn up to where the title means that much to him that he had to do what he had to do to get the title, but that his violent nature is so much that he can't control it once he's in the ring, and that he knows that he can't turn it off once he's engaged in that battle in the ring with Zayn, and knowing that he's hurt, especially now knowing that he's hurt for the injury suffered during the John Cena match. Where this is going to go, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting event. TAKEOVER has yet to disappoint me, and I really believe this is going to be a big, powerful TAKEOVER. The questions being here, which were not addressed in all reality, is what kind of injuries does Sami Zayn have? Like I said, the word was he was not going to be able to make it to TAKEOVER, and here we are the week before, and a little tweaking with the audio, throwing in the John Cena, as this stuff here was taped weeks ago. You still have him being in this match, and you have here Hideo Itami, who was in this match, wrestling. Although I will say he was not wrestling as strongly as normal, and it seemed like his arm, and watching, he was not using the newly injured arm that much in the match, and I'm wondering if he's been injured longer than everybody else knew about, and if possibly it now caught up to him, because there was nobody saw any injury happen to him in the ring. There's no footage. Again, WWE is saying nothing about what the injury is, how long it's going to be. As far as they're going, he's in this match. Now, a lot of things could go on with this. You could have, because of the hostility brewing with Baylor, you could have Baylor turn heel, beat down, and take out Sami and take out Hideo. And then we have just the one-on-one match. Alright, he could take everybody out backstage or in the parking lot, hook up with maybe. Who knows what can happen? Anything can happen. It's wrestling. To me, this would be a perfect time for a certain Samoa Joe to possibly make a sooner appearance than was rumored, which was to be after SummerSlam, to bring him in and have him in the mix to get into a feud with Baylor and Kevin Owens. With that, I'll let you ponder that. I hope you enjoyed this show. Please, as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Feel free to leave comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking about, how you feel about the show. You got any questions? I'll get back to you with that. Shout outs, as always, to the One Wrestling family. First and foremost, as always, the Godfather himself, Bill Apter, at Apter One Wrestling on Twitter. You could follow him on YouTube at Apter's Alley. Then you got the Can-Am Wrestling Show on YouTube, and also on Twitter. You can follow that with Andre_Corbeil and Big Ray's show, and myself with the Back in the Day segments on the Can-Am show. Andre Corbeil handles and is the official One Wrestling TNA Impact correspondent. Big Ray handles the majority of the previews and reviews of the major pay-per-view events. And to my tag team partner, Billy Ray Valentine, you can follow him at the Billy Ray Hustle on Twitter. He and I are part of the Hustle and Show Goes Old School. I hope you joined us there a week and a half ago. We will be returning this weekend with a brand new show. We may have another guest with us, as we had the Professor Quintana was with us last week. And he also handles the Raw reviews each and every week. So don't miss any of these guys. Check them all out on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter. Please, again, hit your like and subscribe buttons. Leave messages on all these social media devices where you can reach us and we can reach you back. And with that, I am the show Bill Schuyler, and I will see you down the